whose opinion is more important in here? Like, who liking you is more important, the outside people or you? Because at the end of the day, you have to go home and you have to be in those four walls with yourself. And if you are forcing yourself into wearing these masks and putting on these costumes and forcing yourself into this persona so that you can be loved and accepted and liked by people who really don't matter that much to you or in your life in general, like you're gonna spend the rest of your life hating yourself, and you start to resent yourself. Long time no speak, girl. I know. I know. Hey y'all, it's Kiki. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today is the first episode of my podcast called the So Into Self podcast. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're probably like, girl, didn't you do a So Into Self series? Well, I'm discussing all of that in today's video. Because I know it's been a minute. I know it's been a while. I haven't shot a video in a very long time. I haven't uploaded in a very long time. And that's solely because I was having a hard time dealing with the main thing that I'm going to be talking about in this video, which is authenticity. Just being authentic and being my true self. Hold on, because it's hot. Ooh. Hopefully I can have a fan on me. Hopefully I can have a fan on me and not have to edit the sound out. But so basically, I haven't uploaded a video in a few months because I felt like I was coming on camera being something that I wasn't. I felt like I was being fake. I felt like I wasn't being authentic. I just felt like I was just making videos just to make them. And while I'm very big on let me take that back. While I'm big on wanting to upload consistently, I'm also big on quality, and I'm also big on intention. And I felt like my last couple of videos, I really wasn't posting with intention. And I wasn't posting being my authentic self. I was just posting just to say that I posted. But one thing I can say, first of all, Happy New Year, because I didn't say that. So when y'all see this video, it's definitely going to be the New Year. So Happy New Year, Happy 2026. But yeah, for the last few months of 2025, I was receiving so much information about myself. And I was just having like a hard time processing the new info while also trying to process and continue my own personal pursuits. I feel like sometimes when lessons start to hit you and you start to download like a lot of things about yourself and just about the world in general, sometimes with me, I have to just take a step back and step into my solitude so I can try to figure out exactly what all of this means and how I can apply it. And sometimes it's hard for me to do that and to also pursue, like making content, making the YouTube videos and all that good stuff. So, and I also been, trying to juggle shedding my old self and stepping into the woman that I am becoming. I feel like 2025 was the year of like cleanup. It was a year of like trying to, repave the foundation, or like trying to like rebuild and make sure that everything up under me was solid, so that when something else finally like hit again, I won't fall apart how I did last year, because I fell apart a couple times. But all in all, I'm here. And safe to say, like, there's been a lot of push and pull between like my old self and my present self. But thankfully, that sort of landed me in this moment where I don't necessarily feel the need to try and fight to get away from my old self. But I also don't feel the need to try to force myself to be this new version that I'm becoming. I can just be who I am in this present moment, which is true to me. It's my authentic self. It's who I am, and it's just who I am today. Whatever chapter this is in my life, this is just who I am for right now. And whoever is to come, that's to come. But as of right now, we right here, we kicking it, and God is good. So I decided to title this episode Authenticity, the Good, the Bad, and the Scary, because I wanted to talk about what it's really like, what really comes with actually wanting to be your true authentic self. So for myself, I've always like, especially as I've gotten older into my later 20s, I've always wanted authenticity. I appreciate authenticity, and I always want that from the people that I'm dealing with. But when I revisited like my last few uploaded videos, I was noticing that like I really wasn't being that. Like I wasn't being my authentic self. And I felt like I was performing. Like I felt like I was presenting myself in a way that I felt like I was obligated to. Like I'm such a person who I can't fake the funk, and I don't know why. Some people can, man. Some people can really go through things and then show up and you do not see. They got a smile on their face. You know, their energy is bright or whatever. And is it a hair in my mouth? Oh my God. Bitch, it is. Oh, it's limp. But still, anyways, but back to what I was saying, like I feel like a lot of people, some people are really good at like showing up and not really wearing their heart on their sleeves and not really showing what it is that they go through. I'm not one of them people. When I'm struggling with something, you gonna feel it. I'm gonna sit in front of this camera and be like, hey y'all, welcome back to my, like I can't, like some days my energy will be up, and then some days it just will not be there at all. And I could not fake that. But I was trying in my latest videos. I noticed that I was trying to fake it. And no matter what, even as I was talking in the videos, my body language was just not, my posture was just off. Like my body language, it just was oozing off of me, in my opinion. I could be like gassing it. I could be overthinking it. But that was just like me. I guess because I know myself and I know when I'm being my true authentic self, that when I went back and reviewed those videos, I was like, girl, you so fake. Like you fake about it. Like you fake about it. But it's okay. And we forgive you. But you fake about it. But I kind of realized in these last couple of months, I was asking myself, okay, so like why, I was asking myself, like, why do I feel the need to perform? Why do I feel the need to show up and fake and put on like a superficial, you know, like type of presence, and just something that's fake? Why do I feel the need to perform? And it's because, you know, sometimes childhood kind of forces you to do that. Now, granted, of course, I haven't been a child in a very long time. But one thing I can say is, thank God, but one thing I can say, adulthood is forcing me into authenticity. And I think it's forcing a lot of people. I think a number of things are forcing people into authenticity. I don't know if it's like the planets. I don't know what's going on in the atmosphere, but a lot of things are forcing people into wanting and appreciating and seeking out authenticity. And I noticed that the older I get, I cannot fake it. I cannot fake it. Like even earlier today, I went to brunch with a good friend of mine. And as I said before, I'm not really like a heavily religious person. However, my friend is. Like she's very much like Christ is king. You know what I'm saying? And I respect her for that. Like I respect anybody's faith, whether you're Christian, Muslim, you practice Buddhism, whatever other religion is out there. I respect your faith. But I had to let her know in that moment, like, hey, like I absolutely do believe in God. You know what I'm saying? Like I do pray. I do the typical things that most people who practice Christianity would do. But I'm just myself. I'm just not that religious like that. I'm not that hard about it because I have way too many questions. And I kind of like applauded myself for that, because in the past I would have faked it so that I wouldn't have to rock the boat. And I feel like that's what a lot of us do. A lot of us feel like, oh, you know, well, I don't really want to lose this friend. I don't want to lose this relationship. I don't want to lose this job. So let me just fake it so that I don't have to, you know, upset anybody. I don't have to ruin a relationship or a friendship and things like that. And I thought about it. I was like, why am I going to fake? Why would I not be myself if I want so badly to invite people in who are aligned with me and like-minded like me? Like, why fake? If you fake, you're going to attract people who are fake as well. And then before you know it, you look up, you ain't got no real friends. You're in a relationship with an imposter. You're an imposter. Like it kind of just, it's like a domino effect, you know? So I feel like it was important for me to be my authentic self because I kind of set the tone for who I am inviting into my life, and just the different opportunities that are coming my way, and just the different just the different things that just happen in life. I want all of those things to align with me and not to align with something that I'm not. So I want you to get somewhere and sit down. I got a cat. He was supposed to be an emotional support animal, but I realized cats are not emotional support animals. I don't know who said that they was, but they're not. They are not. But whatever. Yeah, but so with all that being said, I wanted to not necessarily like reintroduce myself, but I mean, y'all know me as Kiki. My real name is Kiambria, but most people call me Kiki, so it really don't matter to me. But I had to be honest with who I am as Kiki and as Kiambria, because they're really not two different people. It's just a nickname, right? But I remember looking at my vision board from 2025, and at the bottom of the vision board, I had So Into Self podcast. But I was so afraid to start the podcast because I was thinking like, oh, well, everybody got a podcast, everybody got mics, everybody got this, everybody got that. Like, why would I want to start a podcast too? So that's why I ended up doing the So Into Self series, but it didn't flow well and it didn't last long because that was not the initial plan. The initial plan was for it to be a podcast because I tend to want to cover so many different things because we as people are not one thing. So I wanted to cover so many different topics when it comes to showing up for yourself and being all of who you are, and also attracting, like-minded people and people who are, similar to you. Is my wig sliding back? Yeah, I'm gonna need that. But I was so afraid to do the podcast that I ended up naming it the So Into Self series, and I didn't even really have a much direction with it because I'm like, this is not even really what I wanted to do. But I'm forcing myself to do this thing out of fear. You know what I mean? And I'm faking, and I'm not being my authentic self. And I'm not doing the thing that I want to do that is like true to me. And the truth is, I wanted to start my podcast in 2025, and I let that entire year go by, and I did not shoot not one episode. And it's crazy because I had my vision board up in my closet. But I rarely spent time in my closet because most of the clothes that I was wearing during 2025 would come out of my drawer. So I would rarely go in my closet. But I just moved my dresser into my closet, and it made me look at the vision board. I just moved the dresser back in like December 2025, and it made me look at the vision board. And the vision board was like a slap in the face. Like, you wanted to do this thing all of 2025. You let the whole year go by. 365 days went by, and you did not shoot not one actual official episode of the podcast that you've been wanting. Like, so that just put everything into perspective for me. And I'm like, okay, I can't lie no more. I can't fake no more. And it just is going to be what it's going to be. So, like I said before I started this video, this is the first official episode of my podcast, the So Into Self podcast. And I wanted to start this podcast because I'm a huge believer in everything starts with the self. Everything starts with you. And I feel like there's so many different women out there who fall into terrible relationships, terrible friendships, because they don't take the time out to get to know themselves first. And they just don't give themselves a chance. It's like they want so badly to find love and seek out love outside of themselves, but they don't even know that it starts with themselves first. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I started the So Into Self series / podcast / child all over the place. And so, yeah, let's get into the good thing about authenticity. So one thing I wanted to start off by saying was authenticity does sound simple in theory, but it can be very hard to practice on a daily basis, especially when you live in a society where fake shit is like praised and the real shit is like covered up and it's suppressed, and it gets like, people been saying like shadow banned and stuff like that. It is challenging to be your authentic self, because fear gets real loud. And as humans, we want to be accepted, we want to be liked, we want to be loved. That's a human thing. But sometimes we want that so much, we want it a little bit more than we even want to love ourselves. Like, we want so badly to be loved and accepted by other people. We want to be accepted by these people more than we want to be that we want to accept ourselves. And so I know for me personally, that's something that I had to like come to terms with. Like, who do you want to, whose opinion is more important in here? Like, who liking you is more important, the outside people or you? Because at the end of the day, you have to go home and you have to be in those four walls with yourself. And if you are forcing yourself into wearing these masks and putting on these costumes and forcing yourself into this persona so that you can be loved and accepted and liked by people who really don't matter that much to you or in your life in general, like, you're going to spend the rest of your life hating yourself, and you start to resent yourself. I remember a while back when I first sort of distanced myself from my parents. For y'all who didn't know, I am a no contact child. And so during that time, I was really, really fighting to love on myself and accept myself and respect myself, and that meant respecting myself meant upholding my boundaries, not abandoning what was important to me, not going back on my word to myself and breaking promises to myself. And I remember I was like, I do not want to be around anybody who does not treat me the way that I want to be treated. I don't want to be around anybody who disrespects me, who doesn't care about my feelings, who lies to me, who just downright just doesn't treat me like I'm something that's important to them. And I was still in the process of, I guess, I want to say upholding that or teaching myself that. And I had a run-in with somebody who did not care about my feelings. But instead of protecting myself and respecting myself, I went ahead and kind of went with them for a little while. Like, I went ahead and like hung out with them anyways. And I remember when I left and I went back home, I just cried. I cried because I could not believe that I had abandoned myself again. And so ever since that moment, I was like, I do not care. This feeling that I'm feeling, I do not care who's upset about it. I don't care who is mad about it. I don't care what they say or what they do. I have to be 100% authentic and true to myself. And if that means that I have to walk alone for a very long time, then so be it. But I can't really explain the feeling that I got when I realized, like, hey, remember that thing you said you would never do again? You did it. And that it was such a gut punch, because I'm like, oh my God, I told myself I was not doing this again, and here I am doing it. So, yeah, but with all that being said, the good thing about authenticity is that's where your real power lies. That's where your real beauty lies. You know what I'm saying? The good thing about authenticity is there, you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to be fake. And people know that what they see is what they get. And I've always loved people who, no matter what, they show up as themselves. They don't cover up their accent. They don't try to code switch. They don't try to change their hair color to fit in. They don't cover up their tattoos. You know what I'm saying? They don't take out their piercings unless it's like for a job, But for the most part, they show up as their full selves. And I think that's good, of course, because we know what we get with you. It's not unpredictable. You're not going to be one way one day and another way another day. But the good thing about authenticity is that that's when you're really able to build true, genuine connection. As I talk about the name of my podcast being So Into Self, I'm not wanting this to be like a message of, oh, you need to just be by yourself 24/7. Don't let anybody in. Don't love anybody, and don't let anybody love you. But one thing about it, if you really don't know who you are, you're going to attract other people who also don't know themselves either. And then it's going to be like the blind leading the blind. Y'all know where the hell y'all going, what the hell y'all doing, y'all just going. Y'all going nowhere really damn fast. But the thing about authenticity, it almost is like a natural repellent. It's almost like the people who are not meant to be around you, the opportunities that are not meant for you, the jobs, the business ventures, like the different places to travel, all those things, the things that are not meant for you, they scurry away from you real quick because they know for a fact this is just not something that you're finna deal with. Girl, I texted this girl a month ago and she just not responding. You see how black folk do? Girl, black folk just, they be on CP time. I'll text her back when I'm done recording. If you see this video, love you. But girl, I will text you back when I get done recording. But yeah, back to what I was saying. The great thing about authenticity, it is a natural repellent. It literally is. And in a world where everybody trying to sell you something, everybody trying to convince you, manipulate you, get over on you, it's very hard to do that with somebody who is truly, truly aware of themselves. Because when you are aware of yourself, when you are very authentic to yourself, you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses, okay? You know for a fact, like for me, personally, an example that I would like to use is, I know for a fact I'm very empathetic. I am very empathetic, girl. You give me a sob story, I might shed tears with you. Okay, we both gonna need Kleenex, we both gonna need napkins, okay? But the thing about it is that taught me that, okay, because I kind of have a tendency to be very empathetic and I have a tendency to not only become very emotional with other people, but also absorb their emotions, there needs to be a boundary there. I cannot allow somebody to just start trauma dumping on me. Unless it's like a really close friend and things like that, and they need to get it out, that's different. But some people would sense that. They will sense that you are, a bit of an empath. They will sense that sensitivity, and they want that, and they want to sort of use it and try to benefit off of it. And that's not for everybody. But one thing I can say that in these last few months of 2025, I became so aware of myself that it's like, I've had people come to me like, girl, you're not going to believe what happened. I'm like, and in the moment you don't give them the energy that they're looking for, they get the fuck away from you. They walk smooth away. Cause yeah, girl, cause I was going to tell you what such and such said. And it's like, oh, okay. And they kind of give you a side eye like, okay, yeah, but I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing. Thank you. Bye. Sayonara, girl. But yes, and the last thing I want to say about authenticity is it frees you from pretending. You do not have to act. You don't have to be something that you're not. And is my wig sliding back again? Why y'all didn't say nothing? This is the cons of having a small head and buying wigs and the wigs be too damn big. Lord have mercy. And y'all just sit there and let the wig slide back. Thought y'all was my friends. Anyways, authenticity frees you from pretending. It frees you from faking, but it also frees you from those uncomfortable emotions like guilt and shame. You can't shame the shameless. You can't shame somebody who owns who they are. They own their past. They own their present. They're aware of what they want their future to be. You cannot shame somebody who knows their own weaknesses and their strengths. You cannot shame somebody who knows who they are from inside out. That frees you from feeling those things that normally paralyze a lot of people. A lot of people do not continue life, or they sort of put themselves on hold because shame and guilt is so damn strong. They feel like they don't deserve good things. They don't deserve to go on with life. And it's like somebody who is true and authentic will say, you know what? There was a time in my life where I said something I had no business saying. I dated somebody I had no business dating. I may have hung out with a group of girls who I literally got no good things from. But I'm here today and I'm aware of who I was then. And it does not affect who I am. It does not change who I am today. It does not change the lessons that I learned. It doesn't change the things that, like, just God or the universe, whoever you believe in, child, that God has actually just, placed upon me and shown me throughout living. So when I say you can't shame the shameless, You cannot shame the shameless. And that's the great thing about being authentically you. You don't have to fake. You don't have to pretend. And you don't have this burden sitting on you. A lot of people who are guilty, you can see it on them. When they know they did some shit they ain't got no business, they are tense. Girl, booty cheeks clenched. They be in there nervous. Girl, shoulders up to the ears, jaw, nostrils. It just be too much. And it's like, girl, relax. Relax. Get that thing up off of you so you can be you in this life. You only get one life. Relax. Relax. But yeah, authenticity to me is just something that I can't do without. I'm so sorry. I can't fake. And I had to tell my friend earlier, I was like, girl, listen, I can't fake. Like, I got too many questions when it comes to this, and this. I can't fake with people. I just cannot do it. I can't. And I love that for me. So anyways, moving on. Before I continue, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can make sure you get notifications whenever I upload, child. But let's talk about the downside, because everything has a pro and a con. Everything has good and everything comes with a little bad. And being your authentic self, while a lot of good things come out of it, some bad things can come of it too. Like I said earlier, authenticity is not easy. It's very challenging because we live in a world, in a society where they want to force everybody to be fake, and they want to force fake shit down your throat. And when you go against the grain, when you choose to be authentic and you go against the grain, you lose a lot of people. You lose a lot of people who were okay with you wearing that mask and being that caricature, or, adopting that fake persona. Sometimes a lot of people who struggle with authenticity, they may do it unconsciously, but sometimes they may adopt another person's personality just so they can be liked by them. I know that for me personally, when I was younger, I tried to force myself to act just like my mom so I can be liked by her. And I know a lot of people do it, but the thing is, when you decide to be who you are and all of who you are, you lose people. They will walk away from you. They will try to force you to go back into who you used to be, or who you pretended to be. They will not want you anymore because you are who you are. And like I said earlier, when I learned that I'm okay with walking alone, when you choose authenticity, that may be your walk for a while. You may have to just, do life solo dolo. You might have to just thug it out by yourself. That's just the truth. Because everybody likes fake. Everybody likes phony stuff. And it's so hard when you are like, man, I'm not hanging out with that person just because everybody likes them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not wearing that clothing item just because everybody thinks it's cool. I'm not wearing that hairstyle just because Jada Waiter wore it. You know what I mean? Like, when you choose to walk your own path and not follow the leader, people hate you for it. Because not only do they start disliking you because of who you are, but you hold up a mirror to them and you show them how much of a sheep they are. You show them that they are a part of a flock. And you walking your own path, doing your own thing, they're like, bitch, how dare you? How dare you not want to be like the rest of us? How dare you? And it's like, bitch, how dare you want to be like everybody else? That's so boring. Whatever. But of course, what comes with that is a lot of judgment, right? Because when you have people who are okay with being alone, okay with being solo dolo, you have that group of people who've never even tried to be alone, who've never even tried to just, sit with themselves for 3 months or a month. They have to keep people around. They have to keep themselves distracted. They have to keep a phone in their hand. They have to, smoke weed 24/7. No shade to my weed smokers, because most of y'all are peaceful. But I'm just saying, most people love to keep themselves distracted. But those are the ones who love to judge other people, who like to limit distractions so they can figure out who they really are. That comes with being authentic, comes with a lot of judgment. It comes with a lot of misunderstandings. And like I said again, people walk away from you. And but you have to be so in love with yourself. You got to be so, like, the word I'm looking for, I guess I want to say like 100 about yourself. You got to be so into yourself that you don't care about the judgment. The judgment doesn't move you. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't hurt you. And you're able to see that, oh, it's just judgment because they have yet to walk the walk that I'm walking. They have yet to actually do something that is fearful to them. They have yet to step outside of their comfort zone and actually figure out, what life is like without being a part of a flock. Child, so listen. And the thing is, while that may not always seem like too bad when it comes to authenticity, you don't know what it's like to be the only person that's saying one thing and everybody else around you is trying to convince you to say something different. I remember when I first decided to like cut ties with my parents, everybody was like, oh no, you're wrong for doing that. You shouldn't have did that. You want to get one, da, 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 da. You want to get one this. You shouldn't do this. And I was like, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I want peace. I don't like chaos. I like a peaceful holiday. I like a peaceful Thanksgiving. Okay? I like to come home and not have to worry about nobody yelling about no dishes and no other unnecessary stuff, right? So, but in moments like that, you have to be so solid. That's the word I was looking for. You have to be so solid in who you are and what you believe in that you going up against 10, 15, 20 people, they can't phase you. They can't steer you. They can't change your beliefs. They can't change what you think because you're that deeply rooted in yourself and what you believe in. So and the last thing is, of course, when you step into that authenticity and everybody walks away from you, you kind of have to start rebuilding. Like, you have to start making new friends, starting with a new community. And while for some people that might be bad, I think the good thing about that is like I said earlier, you attract the people who are like you. So yeah, don't get me wrong, making friends as an adult, y'all, it's hard, girl. It's hard out here for a pimp, girl. Yes, Stinkies. But like making friends as an adult is very, very tough, man. But you gotta want to get yourself out there and want to find community. And I promise you, community does find you. I went like some years without having friends, and now, girl, I just went to brunch early in the afternoon, going I think we're going to a candle making class next weekend, hanging out with my cousin another weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like another friend from school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like eventually as you go and you really step into alignment and your authenticity and being who you are, everything else follows. Like everything else finds you. It may take time, but it will find you. And so please do not walk over here. No. Nope. Because if you knock over anything, I'm going to bust you in your chest. And so the last part about authenticity is the scary part. Oogly boogly, bitch. But the last part about authenticity is the scary part about being authentic is allowing yourself to finally be seen for the first time. Like finally being seen for who you really are for the first time. When I tell you I was scared, shaking in my girl, what? Shiver me damn timbers. Because, when you keep up a facade for so long, and not necessarily you make up lies, but you pretend like things are okay. You pretend like you got everything together, you know everything and all this good stuff. And you don't question certain certain ideologies, and you don't question certain beliefs and things like that because you don't want to rock the boat. When you start to step into that, you could possibly, anything can happen. You could ruffle some feathers. You can get to a fight with your good friend who you don't know for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when it comes to being authentic, you are allowing yourself to be seen for the first time in probably a long time. And that within itself is very, very scary. Because allowing yourself to be seen means you have to see yourself first. Is my wig sliding back again and y'all ain't said nothing? And so next episode I have it together. But with being seen means you have to see yourself, and seeing yourself means you have to fully accept yourself for your past, your mistakes, your wrongdoings, everything. That one man that you dated, that you had let him drive your car while you was at work, you gotta accept yourself for that girl. That one home girl that kept shading you in your face and you didn't catch on to it till a few months after y'all stopped being friends. You gotta accept that part of yourself. Okay? All them times when them people was trying to, get a rise out of you and you didn't stand up for yourself at that time, you gotta accept that part of yourself. And that's very, very hard, because a lot of those things we've been taught, like, we need to, like, fight back or prove ourselves, or, these feelings are bad, and these things are bad and you should be ashamed. But that's what comes with self-acceptance, feeling all of those emotions and loving yourself in spite of, you know what I mean? Feeling all of those things and still being like, I still fuck with me to the day I die. I still rock with me. I really don't care. Like, yeah, I shouldn't have dated this man. No, I shouldn't have hung out with this girl, but I don't care who I am right now today. Like, literally everything I went through makes me who I am right now in this moment, and I'm okay with that. I'm gonna just edit this part out, child, because this is so embarrassing. Like, imagine watching somebody on a podcast and they keep, like, tugging at their wig. That's embarrassing. But but anyways, and the last thing that I want to say is, when it comes to being your authentic self, you can no longer really, like, you can't be in control of how people see you. In the past, when you are pretending and faking and things like that, you sort of are kind of trying to control how people see you. If you know for a fact that you've never been a fighter, but you all of a sudden are super tough, and you feeling like them girls off baddies, and you feel like you can beat up everybody, even if that's not in your heart for real, you trying to convince everybody else that you are. It's just like, now you can't control that. Nobody is going to see you as that anymore. Nobody's going to see you, or not even that they won't see you as that. They just going to see you however they see you, and you can't do anything about it. You just have to accept the fact that your perception of me does not change me. Your perception of me is not 100% fact. It's your perception. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for it getting longer than what it's supposed to be. But with that being said, y'all, in this life, I had my notes right here, y'all. I did. So I had my notes right here. But with that being said, authenticity is probably the most scariest thing, yet the most healing thing that you can go through in this life. I think being authentic is the thing that pushes you. It pushes you so out of comfort because of the world that we live in, that, shit, to be honest, I feel like anybody who was walking this earth being 100% themselves and not giving a damn, bitch, you the real one. You the real life thug. Like, I don't know, like, you the real G. Because imagine being amongst, like I said, a flock of sheep, bitch, and you the herder. Oh, that's so messy. I shouldn't have said that. But, like, seriously, like, imagine being in a world full of people who just look to other people for inspiration, look to other people for what they're going to do next, and you don't need that. You literally go within to figure out what you're going to do next. You go within to figure out what decision you're going to make. You go within to figure out who you're going to be friends with, what job you're going to take, who you're going to date, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, you guys, I know it's been a while, like I said, since I shot my last video, and it's because I was having a hard time being my authentic self, but I cannot fake anymore. It makes me want to gag. It makes me want to throw up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this first episode of my podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please tell me if you have dealt with struggles with authenticity, or if you've always been your authentic self. What helped you to do that? Was it a parent? Was it a friend? Whoever? And yeah, I will see y'all in my next episode.